Hi, this is Thomas Sheltra for Module 8, Unit 12, Activity 1, and this is a reflection on my own teaching. This year has been really great. It's been a little chaotic, but I think that during the clinical practice, there's many things to take away from it, but one of the biggest things that I think I took away from the whole experience was being adaptable and also flexible. And I think that when we're creating lesson plans, unit plans, curriculum plans, scope and sequence, however you want to word it, we create these things in a vacuum of how we expect students to meet standards and proficiencies, or in my case, when I was living back in China, to prepare for examinations for CIE. However, that's just not the case in reality of when you're making the plan, or the InTask Standard 7, you're planning for instruction. We just don't really kind of live in that world, and especially in my case, where over half of my students that I teach, which is so close to 85 students, are on some sort of IEP or 504 plan. And so you can include the modifications, the accommodations, and everything like that. But until you get your students in the class and, of course, tracking data and stuff like that, you really can't see what your students are capable of until you actually get them in the classroom, and then you can kind of see where the failures are in your planning, and then that way you can tweak and accommodate. But I teach one set of curriculum to 10 different programs, but all 10 programs I teach in a different way. And originally I was like, every week it's going to be these lessons for these students, and it's going to be sort of homogeneous. And I realized that students in my school, at least, are not built that way, and they all have their different needs. And so therefore being adaptable is extremely important. And I'll take that mostly away from the clinical practice, but I mean, there's many things to take away from it. As a teacher, I think as a professional, over the year, I've grown quite a bit. But even when I reflect back on the first couple of years teaching in China, the learning the teaching strategies and what it is you're doing in the classroom, I was able to kind of think about things that I used to do as a teacher, and realize, like, okay, so I was scaffolding, I was doing differentiated instruction, and using technology when appropriate. And so some of those things I think are innate, but now I feel much more conscious of what it is I'm doing when I'm planning. And so I think I'm leaps and bounds, just within these last 9 months. In the last 9 months, I think I'm way better prepared for teaching now than I was after year 7 of teaching in Shanghai. And so how has your clinical practice prepared you to meet the needs of tomorrow's learners? Especially teaching at a technical school where a majority of the students, and I know that's a broad generalization, but I think for the most part it's true, just because they want to do hands-on learning. So they're seeking a different type of education, where most of them are going to go straight into the workforce after high school graduation. And so I think teaching them the soft skills, collaboration, communication, customer service, problem solving, critical thinking, all of these things, no matter what program these students are in, or how they are in their academics, like humanities and mathematics and science, those skills will translate not only in their program that they're learning, but when they go into the workforce. So I think learning how to teach those skills is extremely valuable, and will have residual benefits to students in the future. And how has your clinical practice impacted your students' learning and performance? So I think those kind of go hand in hand. I think the fact that not just the digital film students that I filmed, but I think when you reach students' interests, and you also complement that by meeting their needs by using instructional strategies, you're going to find students who are more active, more engaged, and especially when you add into the fact that you create a comfortable, safe learning environment, and you really rely on social emotional learning, as I have over this year. I find that when students feel valued, students feel respected, and especially when they speak their mind, and you are conscious in praising them for that, especially with students who are very shy, then you're really going to start getting more out of them. And I think that has benefits not only for them just being individuals, but in an educational setting, you're going to get the most out of them academically as well. And so, I'm very happy with this journey over the last 9 months. I think it's taught me things that I never would have if I did another 9 years of teaching. And so, obviously, it's a piece of paper, which is really great and opens up a lot of opportunities to me in my future. But I think that the lessons I learned are way more valuable than what the paper can ever reflect. And so this is Thomas signing off. Take care, everybody.